Hi guys, welcome back to Prospect Channel TV. Thank you for this coming out here. May God bless you all. I still want to use this opportunity to put a disclaimer to this channel, Prospect Channel TV, that in this channel we don't sponsor hate speech, we don't preach violence, we don't promote war, and we don't uh, sponsor misleading information. So what we do here is we educate and we inform locally and internationally. That is what we do, particularly those news that really concern us. So guys, uh, I just want YouTube to take note of this because all these things I mention, I hate them. So guys, I want you to watch this video and see what is going on. Thank you.
Nigeria, for you to believe that somehow a miracle will happen and things will begin to go well, there will be a yardstick to measure that. I want you to tell me, what yardstick are you going to use to measure that Nigeria is going to be better somehow? More especially for those in Biafra land. Even with the revelations that are coming today about the evil plan, the propaganda, the blackmails against, the lies they have told against the Biafran people. Even with that revelations, confessions that we have known even before now, the government continue to put in place policy that will destroy our land, policy that will make sure that Biafran do not succeed. They continue to put it in place. Look at their leadership, from the very top person to the last in the leadership. They are all fraudsters. People that have criminal cases home and abroad. They are in leadership. And how can such people give you something good? This is where we found ourselves. But unfortunately, we must continue. We will not give up.
As in, nobody is talking about our leader and our PM anymore. One thing with this movement is that if you are not spiritual enough, if you are not seeing it beyond what eyes can see, you will always be a kind of victim of confusion, being a kind of in a state of confusion. So what I want to add to what you have told him, because you have said it all, is that it's not about that nobody cares. I will start from the time that our PM was kind of trying to do everything to make him come out, and even sue them to court. You have seen how everything went, and it seems as if everybody kept a kind of blind eyes to what is happening, even to the whole world, even to the UN that said he should be released. Nobody is like questioning anybody. Why have they not done the needful? That should be a kind of insight to tell you that even to this our PM, it's not that his own is not being a kind of they are not doing, the government is not doing their possible best. Our DPM, even when before the redeclaration, she went to Finland earlier. I believe, I don't know maybe what she have went there for, but I believe that is to know if they can do anything possible to make sure that our PM was in that occasion. But finally, you have seen how everything went. I don't know if my brother that asked this question is still around, because that is where I'm trying to come out from. And some time ago, somebody just said something that relates to what we'll be looking around to see how all these things are connecting themselves. Our PM once said that we are using diplomatic different dimensions. There's a way that you said it, multi-dimensional
system.
If you use a kind of writings to reach them, they didn't hear. You use words to read them. You use even action, they didn't hear. You use your senses. You apply sense. It's not if somebody is not talking, that doesn't mean that that person is not hearing. And if person is not putting action, that doesn't mean that that person is not strong. Sometimes you need to use a lot of, it requires a lot of senses or wisdom to pursue this kind of movement, or to achieve your goal in this, especially this our own, is very, very, very difficult, and very, very, very there's a lot of things you cannot understand ordinarily. You need to apply wisdom and grace to overcome it. So these two people, our leader and our PM, it's not that they are not doing their possible, but sometimes you will not get it. But how I understand is just as our PM said it, that it will be miraculously, and it's happening now. All this confession that is going on, even all this denial to Nigeria, all these shame things, it is coming to our favor because it's referring to what they are doing to us, and that is how it is coming to the end of what we are asking God to do for us. Because if you don't have gun, you don't have things to fight our enemy, but God is using another way to give us victory. So I will not talk more than to say that nobody should be of a kind of confused of what is going on now, because I know that God is about to finish what He started. We just like the knock or cocoa. Egbe buru nwa ya. Inwe ihe ọkụkọ a ga-emenwu than to start shouting gbagharịwa na-ekwe n'ụwa nnukwu onu ya na ọ na-ebela akwụkwọ na ya nwere ihe a ga-emenwu ebe aba n'ụwa. And gbanwe beli ihe ahụ, ọ bụrụ nwe onye na around, ọ bụrụ na o tie ebe ahụ hafụ nwa ahụ ọ dafu. Oh yeah, nah, that is what is happening. I don't know whether you understand this evil, but I'm trying to say that when something is beyond you and you are sincere to it, you have been praying God to help you, and God said that He will help you. Then do your best and leave the rest for Him. He will finish it. That is the stage we are now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my sister. You have spoken well. Just the same illustration I used when I was starting the program is what you just used. So the spirit is working together. Thank you so much for that very addition you made. It is the truth and nothing but the truth. Every one of us should put our hand on the deck. Continue to hope with faith. Things will turn around for our own good. No matter how the enemies try to blackmail them, push their propaganda, push their attack, everything will definitely turn to our own good. Let all the states fast and continue to work. And Chukwu Okike Abiyama will give us victory.
Cabinet should not be in any way be come back now. Now is not the time. Now is not the time. Unless when the Obatobi is back and decide to bring the person back. But hence Obatobi is not around for the moment. None of those people that have been expelled, no sanction should be returned back. If that and again, and another thing I want to talk about is concerning the our what is it called, information minister. Please, all those people also, I believe, is part of those people that have been sanctioned before also. And I don't want Biafrans to be I don't want anybody to play with Biafrans, in the sense that as we are contributing, making our contribution, it's not that we have too much to be throwing away. We are doing it for a reason. We are doing it for security consciousness. We are doing it for the progress of our people, to secure our land. All of us cannot be on the ground. Since some of us cannot be on the ground, and most of us that can be contributing are contributing, it's not that we just cherish to be wasting the money like that. No. I believe the money should be used for the rightful purpose. It's not the money we can be contributing, and the next moment we hear that this is social story. Nobody will be happy with that. Please, we have contributed so much money that a lot of stories has come. DOS, POS has done their own. This Okengwere is now doing on his own. All these things are money that Biafrans has contributed. But I know in due time there is no way they will escape without balancing us all those money they have wasted. That one is certain. Because as long as Biafra is concerned, there's no stone that will be left unturned. They should just put that to their dead skulls. No stone that will be left unturned as long as Biafra is concerned. So please, I would like anybody, any cabinet that will be, anybody that will be working for Biafra as a cabinet must be well must be well assessed. Everything about that person must be well assessed. We know our DPM. She's not hungry before coming to this struggle. She comes genuinely to this struggle. She is somebody that with what she has, she's always contented with what she has. But being that God has called her for this purpose, she left all she's doing and she focused. She's focusing. Please, I wouldn't like the situation whereby some people will come and be destroying the good work she has been doing, saying we are in cabinet or no cabinet. Please, let all this cabinet be well examined. We don't want anyhow people anymore to come into the cabinet and start delaying us and taking us back anymore. We have suffered a lot. We have been subjugated a lot. We are tired of all these things. We are tired of contributing every time. If that should be the case, now even the defense minister, as we are talking about, he has never one day show us any current movie, any current video of what our men on ground are doing. Are we not supposed to be fed with all these things? All those things are the things that are supposed to be encouraging us, for showing that our money is going somewhere.
Okay,
we cannot be contributing and we say we have defense minister and the defense minister is not showing us what we are paying for.
Mazi,
and this defense minister has been there right from when prime minister has been around.
Can you hear me, Mazi?
Now that prime minister is not around, his duty has to be intensified now. Very, very intensified.
Can you hear me?
The defense minister is one of, I believe he's one of those people that was sanctioned sometimes ago too.
He's not listening.
So anybody that was sanctioned, please, we don't need anybody that is being sanctioned before to be part of the cabinet. That is all I just need.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me, Mazi Amarachi? Can you hear me?
Thank you very much. This is all I just have to contribute concerning this until something else come up to say. But for now, this is what I just have to say, because according to the topic we are talking about security, and this is something that is more important to me, because our land needs to be secured, our people need to be secured, our people's life and property has to be secured.
Thank you, Mazi Amarachi. Can you hear me?
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank you. You're not here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Amarachi, can you hear me? Wow, he can't hear me. It's unfortunate he can't hear me. I wanted to respond to what he said. So regarding to what Mazi Amarachi was saying, he's not hearing me, and I just wish he can be able to reconnect. Mazi Amarachi, try to reconnect back and so that you can be able to hear what I'm about to say. Because your line of thought on what you are saying is very important to be addressed. When Mazi Amarachi was talking about bringing people back who has been removed from the United States of Biafra government and then bring them back again in the cabinet. On that very issue, I want Mazi Amarachi and every other person that is listening to mind where you are getting your information from. Mind where you are getting information from. You have to be very sure of what you are saying before ever you say. That is why it is not good gambling into any issue or any platform that doesn't have concrete information. When we talk about the government of the United States of Biafra and the cabinet, there is a way the cabinet is being run. From the time Mazi Simon Ekpa was there is a way he run the cabinet. When Mazi Simon Ekpa gives somebody a public sack and announce it, once he announces it in the public, if it's the one that the public needs to do, he will announce it in the public. And everybody will hear about it and announce it. There are certain suspensions he gives. When he gives suspension, he doesn't announce it. It's not been announced. When he suspends somebody, he doesn't have to announce. And in the cabinet, so many of the suspensions are not announced. And whenever the person comes back, stays, when the suspension is still the time they have been suspended, it expires, you come back to the government. So there are things that function, there are ways that function. That is why before you begin to talk about an issue or begin to speak, you have to be very, very careful and be very, very sure. So you don't end up discouraging others or putting wrong information out there. the government of the United States of Biafra has a way it functions. From the time Mazi Samanekwa is there, when somebody is suspended, if it is dismissal, if you are being dismissed, Mazi Samanekwa will announce it. The public and the Biafrans are going to hear it. It will be announced. But when you're given a suspension of that, it will be announced. And after your suspension, you can come back to the cabinet, take another appointment, and continue after interrogations and things have been made forward. And those things are done within the cabinet. It's not in the public view. And it's not something that the cabinet will come and begin to explain to you how they did and how they didn't do. The information that needs to be out there is when somebody is dismissed from the government. If it's dismissal, most of the time, the prime minister will announce it in the public. So when those people who are telling you that people who were being sacked are brought back, you don't know, they are not giving you the right information. They are not giving you the right information. As it stands today, there is nobody sacked that is in the cabinet. There is nobody sacked under the government of our prime minister, Mazi is in government. And everybody in that government today, in the government of the State of Biafra, Mazi Samanekwa is aware of them. He knows them. He knows them. He approves them. Every single person in that cabinet. So when people begin to throw this word out there to confuse or to discourage Biafrans, don't buy into it. It is much, much better you filter the information you listen to and where you get your information from. Very, very important before you go ahead and run with it and discourage yourself. And some of this is what is giving some of our people headache. You see our people getting worried unnecessarily, getting troubled unnecessarily because of wrong information they are being fed with. It is very, very unfair. It is very unfair. And the people that are feeding most of this information are people who have been in the corridors of power before. They have been in this cabinet and they know how things have been wrong. But for one reason or the other, because things are not running their own way today, it doesn't go to their favor. They begin to capitalize on some things that happen and they misinterpret it, push it into the public, and public will be confused in order to put confusion. It is unacceptable. It is very, very unacceptable. And I hope those people will retrace their step and stop passing wrong information. The government of Biafra care much about the safety and security of that government now more than anybody. The cabinet is much more worried bringing outsiders, much more worried bringing saboteurs than you think you are. When we talk about sabotage, the people that are much worried about sabotage is the cabinet themselves. How will it be something that is handed over to you? You allow somebody to come into it and sabotage it. And when Mazi Samanekwa come out, what are you going to give an account as your stewardship? With what face are you going to look at him? So everybody should know that the people that are much, much worried about sabotage is the people in that cabinet. They are worried more than any other person. So for you to begin to insinuate or imagine that they will bring somebody who is going to sabotage or somebody who has been sacked. I'm talking about sacked, dismissed. Somebody who has been dismissed from the government is a different issue. When somebody is suspended, it's a different issue. Suspension is a different issue. And when the issue is serious, Mazi Samanekwa will always announce it. And I will tell you, those people you are telling me today, those people that they are feeding you stories, telling you that they were dismissed, tell them to get us a video. Because when Mazi Samanekwa dismiss somebody from this government, you will see a video proof. He will come and announce it and tell you that this person from today, since to become a part of this government, the person can continue to fight for Biafra the way he wants to fight it. But when it comes to the government, you are not part of it. He announced it. There are video evidence of people who have been dismissed from this government, from Mazi Samanekwa. The video evidence is there. So if you have any video evidence of anybody they are talking about that have been dismissed, that you find in this very government, please do me a favor and send me that video. I am going to play it live and I will forward it to the government. I will play it and forward it. So don't allow people to confuse you. Don't allow people to deceive you. Don't allow them to distract you. This distraction will continue to come. Because the enemies of Biafra, those who want to keep us stagnant, they would like us to be talking about ourselves, fighting ourselves, instead of moving forward. And at one point in time, they will always bring these confusions out. In every government of the world, or in every offices, there is suspension. When somebody is suspended for misconduct or misbehavior, then when you say your suspension and your suspension time is over, you will come back to your office. You learn your lesson. After reprimanding you and giving you the conditions and you meet up the conditions, you will be back in the office. But when you are dismissed, if you are dismissed, you cannot come back. If you are dismissed, you cannot come. And that is why even offices, when offices dismiss somebody, they will write it in newspaper. They will announce it in conventional media so that everybody will know that this person has been dismissed. Just like when you dismiss somebody from the army or from the police, they will write their name, they will put it in newspaper, you will see it. In the same vein in this government, when somebody is dismissed, you will see the video clip. Mazisa Maneko will come out and announce that this person from today, you are no longer part of our government. You can fight for Biafra. There's no problem. You are a citizen of Biafra. Nobody can stop you from fighting for Biafra. But when it comes to the government, you are not part of it. He will announce it in public. He will announce it in public. That is how it is done. And there are video evidences of people that have been dismissed. The videos are there. Everyone that have been dismissed, their videos are available. They are all available. You will see my sister say from today, this person ceases to be part of the government. That is how it's done. But when it is suspension, after a suspension, anybody can go for suspension. I can go for suspension tomorrow. Anybody can be suspended for one misconduct or the other. Depending on the level of misconduct, after your suspension, then you given the penalty, you will be scrutinized, given the conditions. Once you meet the condition, you are back. And Samuel doesn't announce that. He doesn't announce it in public. It is something that has to do with the cabinet. Except you are a member of the cabinet, you cannot know about those informations. Except you are a member of the cabinet, you will not know those information. It is information that is just for the cabinet members. But when it has to do with dismissal, to show you how serious it is, he will come online and announce it. And I tell you, people who are worried about having people who have been dismissed, if you know that you have anybody that has been dismissed from this government, get me the video clip. Send it to me privately. My phone number is out there. My phone number is out there. Send it to me. I will personally conduct a program with it. I will play it on the live program like this. You will see it. And the government will take action. I will send it to the government in case they don't see it. I will take it up to their cabinet meeting. Settled. So don't allow anybody to begin to push those narratives. We have more important things to do today. Very, very important issues to deal with. The government of Biafra, their ultimate priority is the defense of Biafra land, to defend and protect the life and property of Biafran people. That is number one thing we are worried about. The life and property of Biafran people. The government of Biafra is much more worried than I can even imagine. So how would they decide to do something that would going to jeopardize the success of the government? When Mazi Samanako comes out tomorrow, what are you going to tell him? What are you going to tell him? What are you going to tell him when he comes out? And some of us want magic to happen. Sometimes when people come out, we always talk about the negative side. You are only mentioning where the government have not done this, have not done that. Can you be able to sit down and begin to list the success that the government have been made for the past 3 months? Only 3 months old. 3 months old government. Go and check and look at the success they have made so far. With all the distractions, with all the attack, with empty treasury. Empty treasury. When the government came in, empty treasury, there was nothing there. The Minister for Finance took every single penny the government have and went away with it with his group. And all this kind of attitude is possible because then we were running as an organization. All these things, both from the time of Mazen Nandekan, some group took money and ran away. Time of Mazen Nandekan and Samuel Ekpa, Some group have taken money and they go their separate ways. And today we are in a government. The previous one that happened, we are happening because we don't have a government. It was just like an organization. But now that we have a registered government, a nation, United States of Biafra, you can't do that. You can't do that because you cannot have one person that is signatory to the finance of the United States of Biafra. It is not possible. Nobody can hijack our money again and run away. It will not happen. And those are the lessons that have been learned from the past. Don't expect the United States of Biafra government to do what will be done in years, in one day. It is not possible. There are certain things that will take time. It will take time. It will take time for us to get there. Why don't you give the government that time? Why don't you focus your attention on counting the successes of the government? The government have made great success. I have not seen anybody come online here and begin to enumerate and talk about the successes of Biafra. Every time it is about where there is a setback, where there is setback. And those setback is not something that is not going to be fixed. These are things that is going to be fixed. Some of them are already fixed. And some of them, fixing them is going to be difficult because of our nature. Because it is difficult for Biafrans, mainly our Biafrans, so many of us, it is difficult for us to accept the change. When there is a change, it takes time for us to adapt to change. And because it takes time to adapt to change, the government cannot come and do Tibozo if you don't agree with me. No. It has to take time to convince people. Conviction, until we now get it to the track. Today we are running a government. Just like when we are talking about decentralization of the military. In that decentralization, that is the right thing to do. Even the Zoological Republic government, what we are already doing is what they are borrowing to do. We talked about self-defense and pass it to law. Nigerian government borrowed it and they are now talking about it. The DSS chief was in a program talking about self-defense, the same self-defense we have just written down. These are things that have been in place within 3 months. Government that have been in power for many years are following up and doing what we are doing. These things takes time. It takes time. And when you mention it, just like when we talk about decentralization, when you talk about decentralization of the military, some people who were in the open field before get angry. They felt that their own authority and power be challenged. And they misunderstood it. It is difficult for people to accept change, even when the change is in a positive way, to help them. It is difficult. But with time, people begin to understand. Just like in that Liberation Army. Today, they are understanding. Today, they have fallen in line and they now understand that this decentralization will not harm them. Instead, it will help them. It will help them. It will make their work easy. Because it will not be right. Before you will move from Olu State to Owerri State, from Owerri State to another state, Ikumese State. Before you make all those movements, you might encounter danger on the road. And you might lose men along the line. It is risky. So why not you decentralize? Every region, zone, every state have their own defense. Every state have their own, so that when there is a problem, the reinforcement will be fast. The process of reinforcement will be very fast. And that was why the decentralization was spoken about. But some people then, when we talk about decentralization, they were just looking towards one thing. Oh, my power is challenged. Oh, this thing is not coming to me anymore. Oh, now somebody is going to be equal to me. That is not what it's all about. But that is a black man for you. They will always misunderstand. The quest for power. Even when things are being made easy for you. Look at the zoo today. Go to Lagos State. Zoo in Lagos State, they are complaining that the wharf is filled up. Tinkan is overfilled up. Pressure is there too much. But go and build a seaport. Allow Port Harcourt to operate. Allow other seaports in the southeast to operate. You will not allow them. Even though you are complaining of pressure in Lagos. You are complaining of pressure, but still, because of greed, because of envy and jealousy and wickedness, you still want to continue to pile up this thing. At a point in time, this present governor was complaining that there is so much pressure on Tinkan. They can't control the wharf anymore. Talk about the road. They can't even maintain the road. People cannot even use the road. The traffic is so much. Services cannot be rendered to people. No matter the amount of staff you have, services cannot be rendered to people because there is no space. Now, open up the space. Open River State and another place. They refuse. That is the mentality of a typical black man. And that thing is also in the Biafrans too, which we have to fight and defeat. We have to fight it and defeat. We must embrace change. More especially changes that are for the positive. When you see change, begin to look at the positive side of that change. Let us not always be on the negative side. Let us not always focus our mind on whenever somebody tells you something, you begin to think about the negativity. When somebody mentions something, you begin to talk about negative part. The one that is negative, that is where you focus your attention. It is too bad. The time has come. In this our time, under the United States of Biafra, led by Dr. Ngozi Robese, it is a path to freedom, security, and development. And that development has started. Everyone must key into that development. And Chukwu Kame will strengthen us. You're welcome, my beloved brother Greg. Thank you for joining, Greg. Go ahead and speak to us, Greg. Happy weekend and happy new month.
Yeah, good morning, brother Chus. No, happy new month to all the Biafrans. Happy new month to all people who are concerned. Yeah, I'm a little bit busy, but I just had somebody who is asking some questions that we are past that stage. But since you have a little patience to clear a lot of things for him. But for me, that stage, we are no more in the stage of asking us a question.
Excuse me,
please,
my brother Greg, just 1 minute. 1 minute, Greg. 1 minute. There's a question that somebody asked on the comment section. My beloved sister Stella Uzoka, she said, please confirm if it is true that US has recognized Biafra. I think that should be a slip of tongue. When our brother was speaking, it is not that they have recognized, but what was done was registration. What was done was registration. Registration was done in Minister of Justice, and in Carolina was that was where this thing was registered, and we are going to open our embassy in Washington D.C., which our deputy prime minister posted online. Every one of us saw it when that registration was done. We are registered as a nation in the United States. But when we talk about recognition, so that people don't misunderstand that. Go ahead, my brother Greg.
Yeah. So that person that asking the question is the people that are sacked and people that are not sacked. I think these are people who are trying to set confusion on what is going on. So those kind of people should not be responded to, because any person that is following what is going on will understand that those matters have been cleared and nobody is talking about it again. And any person who is telling you that he's contributing money and they're supposed to show him what is on the ground, that person, I don't think the person is following up. So these are the kind of people who come.
I forgot to address that section also. Go ahead, my brother. Go ahead. Address it.
Who is trying to create confusion in what we are doing. So those people are not important to answer them anything. What people are supposed to be coming here to talk about is how we move forward and how things that we are doing that will be working. If you want to question, let him go and question in the first place. How all the money that was put in his hand, where he kept them. He should not come here and start talking to people who every month they will see what they are doing at hand. So that is my own contribution for now. So I will be listening on the ground because today I'm a little bit busy. So thank you.
Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you so much, my brother. Yeah, on that very aspect of that, when the guy was saying, I forgot to respond to that on that issue of showing evidence of what he's doing and all that. I think we have really passed that very stage. of you asking of evidence and all that. You know, we are in a level that we are now. Diplomacy and lesson is actually working on the front line. And for every single thing you want to know or you want to see, all you need to do is to be patient and focused. You are going to see every single thing you want to see. You are going to see it. But this time around is not a time to entice you and make you happy because of this or because of that. Whenever there is need for government to respond, government is going to respond, and immediately. Whenever there is need for Liberation Army of Biafra to respond, they are going to respond, and immediately. They will respond. So when you're talking about the advertisement of the military, no, we are not into such propaganda anymore. We are not into such propaganda anymore. When I played a video here, when I started a video, I always start with when our Prime Minister was talking about the stage we are now. That is, the restoration of Biafra is stage by stage, bit by bit, book by book. Any stage with which it will be open. On the stage we are now, it is mostly focused on restoration of Biafra on the ground and the diplomatic level on recognition. And that recognition is where the major focus is today. Recognition. Making sure that Biafra is recognized by the countries of the world that matters. That is where we have a great challenge. That is where we have a great challenge. If we can be able to get some recognitions that we are searching for today, once we get a recognition, I bet you that there is no amount of force that we cannot be able to pull. So these are very important. And remember, our Prime Minister said it is going to take some time. It is little by little. We have to be consistent in the pursuit of the recognition. It's going to take some time. So the issue of showing you evidence of this and evidence of this, there are a lot of successes that have been made. The ones that have been made that you're supposed to see, you will see them without asking. You don't need to ask, you will see them. A lot of things are happening, you will see them. But for anybody to push for any blackmail or something they're going to use and say, we did this, we did that, we don't want that this time around. The government don't want to be pushed to the edge anymore. And most of the time, the enemies of Biafra will try to push ahead and begin to look for something they're going to use against us to instigate the Biafran people against us. The government of today is being very careful so that Biafrans will not be instigated against it or against the world. That does not mean that we're not going to defend our land. We are going to defend our land and we'll defend it appropriately with the force that is required, but we are not going to advertise it. It will not be advertised. If that is what you are looking for, it will not be advertised. All you need to do is to watch and see. Watch and see. And you're going to find out and see whether the news you're hearing before, whether you're going to hear it anymore. You are going to see the changes. You need to see it not by propaganda, not by showing you videos. All you need to do is to pay attention and play your own role. Play your own role, because for you to see those successes you're looking for, you have to be part of that success. The government cannot do anything on their own. Without your support, the government cannot do anything on their own. The successes that was made today, from the very first time, from Mazen Nandekano up to today, it is because of the Biafran people. The success of Mazen Nandekano in IPOB is because of the Biafran people. The success of Mazen Simon Ekpa is because of Biafran people. And the success of Dr. Ngozi Orabueze today depends on the Biafra people. That is why we urge every Biafrans to continue to support the United States of Biafra under Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. Today is going to be fundraising. Today is Saturday, a day we agreed to come together and raise funds. Come there and donate. Give your own widow's mite. Give your own widow's mite and you watch and see. And when I talk to you, I remind you that this government is just 3 months old. The government started with an empty purse. Empty purse. You can imagine when your secretary, when your minister of finance, you can imagine when your minister of finance break away. When the Minister of Finance of a government break away, you can imagine what that means. It means that the government is running without a penny. A government that began to run without a dime. 3 months old today, you are seeing the government still moving ahead, doing things, getting busy, reaching out and occupying spaces, sending informations and achievements here and there. It is not a simple job. But for that job to be very successful, your own input is highly needed. Your support is highly needed. You must be part of it. You must be part of it. Don't allow anybody to discourage you. Just like the time of Master Simon Ekpa. When Master Simon Ekpa came on board, every one of us knew how many months it took him to reorganize, re-establish, and hold the ESN. How many of us, we know how long it took him to reorganize the ESN and brought it to the level it became the Liberation Army today? It's not a day job. It's not a day job. It took him time. It took him a lot of sleepless nights. Every one of you know how everybody worked hard, including you. Everybody worked hard to see that succeed. Today, we are just 3 months old. The United States of Biafra. So why wouldn't you have that patience and wait? Why wouldn't you wait? Support this government the best way you can. Why wouldn't you invest in this government that have done so much with little or nothing? Why wouldn't you support it? Nigeria is not for you. Every one of us know today that the only hope we have is the United States of Biafra. Nigeria has never been for you, will never be for you, and can never ever be for you. Every single day they continue to bring policies that is against you. Every day, go to their media. Every single policy you see in Nigeria is against the Biafrans. They put in place policies that will make sure that you as a Biafran does not succeed. They put in place policies that will make sure that as a Biafran, when you do business, you cannot succeed in your business. This is what we see. Biafrans can only succeed abroad. But when you are living in Nigeria, you can't succeed. Whatever you are having in Nigeria and you call it success, for those of us who are in business in Nigeria, that thing you regard as success, I bet you, if Biafrans are given a level playing ground, if you are given a level playing ground, what you are seeing today as success is just a child's play. You will now begin to understand how far they have destroyed you. You will now begin to understand. Some of us don't get it. When we are talking about the atrocities of Nigerian government, you wouldn't get it. Because for the fact that you have stayed very long in that fraudulent entity, you begin to accept it as normal. There is nothing normal in Nigeria. There is nothing normal. Everything in Nigeria is abnormal. Unacceptable to a normal human being. But because you have been there for too long, you begin to accept abnormality. You begin to accept abnormality as something that is normal. Today, you go to Nigeria, people are celebrating having light for 6 hours. People will be celebrating for having light for 6 hours in a day. And when you happen to have light for 8 hours, they will give you an accolade. Even the governor of that very state will be proud and say he has done something. And they have forgotten that it is the right of every citizen to have their light 24 hours. As long as you can pay for the service, you have the right to have your light 247. In Nigeria today, people have begun to accept the fact that building borehole, once you build a house, you must build a borehole. It is now something normal. That having a borehole is normal thing. Everybody building a borehole. You build and you begin to give water to your neighbor. They take it as normal thing, but it is abnormal. Every single citizen is supposed to have access to water. Water. Look at their road. A government will come and they will make a road. Not even make it to the standard. They will just grade a road. After grading the road, they will expect you to clap for them. They will grade the road. They say they want to inaugurate it. They will go and tie rope. They want to inaugurate it. They come for campaign. They campaign with road. I will build road. And people are taking it as normal. I will make road for you. I will give you light. People are in 21st century. These are your rights. Your right that nobody must take it from you. But today, they celebrate it in the zoo. And it is normal. They take it as normal. In Nigeria today, for your child to get admission into university, even after the person cleared their paper excellently well, for that child to be admitted, get admission in a school, you must have to go back again and give bribe. You must pay for some money. After your child have written the exams, passed the exams, get into the school, begin to pay school. No. Before they will grant that child admission, you must pay money. If you pay admission money, the bribe, you must pay that bribe. And people have now taken it as a normal thing. It is normal that immediately your child, after making his or her papers, passing the WAEC, passing the JAMB, the next thing, you go and settle for that child to have admission. And they take it as normal, something that is abnormal, absolutely unheard of. Evil. Something that is evil. While people are busy in other part of the world celebrating free education for all. Free education. Everybody have access to education. But in your own side, education is meant for a certain category of people. And people take it as normal. It is normal. Nobody is complaining. It is just normal. There's nothing normal about that. There's nothing normal about it. And nobody complains. Because they have stayed in that fraud for a very long time. They have stayed in that fraud for a very long time. And they take it as a normal thing. And they are going along with it. They don't even see it as fraud or evil anymore. You can imagine in Nigerian system today, they are having places they call a special center where you go and take exam and you must pass. This I'm telling you what is happening in Nigeria. They call them special centers where people can go and write, either you write your WAEC or JAMB. Once you write there, automatically you will pass, whether you are intelligent or not. Special center. Corruption-free zone. A place where you go, anybody, a professor can come and write exam for you. A teacher can come and sit for you. Your brother, your sister, you won't write your exam. All you use to go there. Cheating is legalized. And people take it as normal. You see a child wants to write exam. He will be telling his parents, oh, I want to go to special center. I want to be in this special center. Help me pay for special center. Why special center? Why? These are what the Zoological Republic have instituted in their system. And people are now taking it as normal. It is normal. In some of the universities and all this, you go there. If you don't buy a handout from the teacher, you will fail. If you don't buy the handout printed by the teacher, by the lecturer themselves, you will fail. Even now, it's coming down to secondary school. If you don't buy their handout, if you don't buy it, it doesn't matter how many textbooks you have at home. It doesn't matter how many access you have to your education, what you know. If you do not buy their own handout made by the professors, the lecturers, the teachers, they will fail you. And the education system take it as normal. It's normal. You dare not complain about it. When you talk about it, they say it's normal. That's how they do it. Even your child will call you and tell you that, Daddy, that's how they do it. Is that normal? Does that happen in the same country? Many of us here are living abroad. Does that happen where you are? Does that same thing happen where you are? So how is it normal? These are the things we have to change. And the only way you can change it is when you have a sane country with sane people running it. How can you talk about better educational system where you have a president that forged results? How can you be talking about better educational system where all the members of the House of Assembly forged their results to be there? I say all of them. All of them. All of them. Those that have, some of them, somebody wrote the results for them, wrote their exams for them. How can you have a better educational system in such kind of a place? A place where the same people that are perpetrating that fraud are the ones in the aim of affair. In a country where the president attended university, got admission as a woman, graduated as a man, got admission into the university as a woman and graduated as a man. And nobody cares. They still voted him in as a president. And people take it as normal. You see somebody who is coming out to contest election. You know that this man is not qualified. Educationally, he is nowhere. Morally, he is nowhere. Politically, he is nowhere. But they will tell you that he has the money and he has the connection. He has a godfather. Simply because he has the money and he has a godfather, people will bet you and tell you that this man is going to win, and he definitely win. You saw it in the drug baron in Asarok. If you come to qualification, drug baron is nowhere. Before the election, in all the places he was interviewed, he was always talking bala blue, bala blue, bala blue. And people thought it was impossible. But those who know what Nigeria is told you that it is possible, very possible. And nobody's going to challenge him. He bought his way up from the primary election up to the main election. He bought his way. And people take it as normal. Even as he's there, other people are already gearing up and lining up on what they're going to do. Today, you saw the one they call the Senate President, Akpabio. The criminal Akpabio, who has a case in the EFCC. Criminal Akpabio have a case in the EFCC, and they told him, join the APC and all your sins are forgiven. That was how he joined. Today, he has risen up to the number 3 man in the country, Senate President. And that number 3 man, who is fraudulent and not qualified to be there today, look at what he's doing in the Senate, harassing women up and down. Married women. One of the cases that they are pushing online, they're talking about, the woman, a fellow senator in the Senate, that he wants to sleep with. Because the woman refused to sleep with her, he's giving her a backseat. He wants to suspend her. Sexual harassment. Akpabio. What do you expect from Akpabio? A criminal. When you make a criminal your Senate President, what do you expect? Somebody who EFCC have indicted. They wanted to pick him up. All they told him is to join APC and all your sins are forgiven. And that was what he did. As if they didn't stop there. Today he is the number 3 man in the country. Harassing women, committing different kinds of crime, stealing as much as he can. undeterred, fearlessly, and you take it as normal. And I ask people, judging from what you see in Nigeria, do you think anything is going to change? Judging from the system, those who said, oh, wait for better future, better Nigeria, better Nigeria. I ask you, what is your yardstick that you are using to measure? If you're expecting miracle to happen, there will be a yardstick. There will be a yardstick for those who are expecting miracle. There must be something you have done or where area that you're expecting that miracle. If you're expecting that something that will change, there will be something like people who predict or people who talk, that is, they will give you points based on this and that. Add 1 plus 1, it's going to be 2. Based on this and that, the next time you add 1 plus 1, it's going to be 3. Tell me, in the system that the Zoological Republic called Nigeria is running, what is your yardstick to measure that that zoo is going to be better in the next 1 million years? When I say Nigeria is irredeemable, some people will say you're too extreme. But as recent, Showore himself in an interview said that finally he has come to believe that it is true that the Zoological Republic called Nigeria is irredeemable. Showore is confessing. These are people who want to pursue one Nigeria, a better Nigeria. Oh, we can do it. And up to today, they are still pretending they can do it. Do what? The only solution, the only remedy to Nigeria is disintegration, dividing the Zoological Republic along tribal lines. Let the North go their separate ways. The Southwest go their separate ways. The Southeast go their separate, and the Middle Belt go their separate ways. That is the only alternative. Nothing else. Any other thing you are trying to put on the line is a waste of time. It's a deceit. When we are asking for disintegration of the zoo, it is not a selfish request for Biafra. No. It is a request we are making that every single individual in that contraption will have their own space, grow at their own speed in their own space. That is what we're asking for. The North will be in their own space, grow in their own space, be whatever they want to be. If they want to practice their Sharia, there is nothing wrong in practicing their Sharia. Let them practice it there. If we want to visit them, we will have it in the back of our mind that we are going to an area or a country where Sharia is being practiced, and we will respect them. The same thing in the Southwest. Allow them to practice anything they want to practice or worship Shango or whatever. Do it in their own territory, according to how they want it, in their own space. Allow the Biafrans to run their own space also and worship Chukwu Okekabiama the way they want to, without any distraction. Allow the Middle Beltans to grow in their own space. Use their own resources to be who they want to be. Be the food basket as they are and export their goods to where they choose to on their own terms and conditions under an agreement.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for staying to the end of this video. It was very, very an interesting one. So what's your take on this? Please, let's hear from you. Kindly drop your comment below the comment section. Share this video. Thank you. Bye for now.